Fadila. I'm student of English education at Muhammadiyah University of Luwu. I'm sixth semester now, and this time I want to talk about the education system in the Philippines. Okay, let's see my explanation. The education system in the Philippines starts with pre-primary education with various programs for 3 until 6 years age. Then basic education for 6 or 7 years. Continues to 4 years of secondary education where each year the material focuses on a certain theme or content, and in the last year of secondary education, each school held an exam to enter the college. After completing secondary education, students can continue their education in technical and vocational education for 2 or 3 years, or higher education or university. So, in the education system in the Philippines, divided into pre-primary, basic education, or is called also primary education, and then secondary education and higher education. Pre-primary education is provided for children aged 3 until 5 years. The programs offered are various, such as nursery or early childhood education for children aged 3 until 4 years. In Indonesian called is PAUD. Kindergarten or TK for ages 4 until 5 years, and elementary school preparation for 5 until 6 years old. Primary education. Primary school education in the Philippines lasts 6 years and is compulsory for all students. This level of education is divided into a basic 4-year cycle and 2-year intermediate cycle. In the country's public schools, Filipino children generally start school at the age of 6 or 7. However, private schools usually start a year earlier and operate a 7-year curriculum rather than a 6-year curriculum. So, in the primary school in the Philippines, the public school starts at the age 6. However, in their private school, in private school usually start at 7 age. Although secondary education is not compulsory in the Philippines, it is widely attended, particularly in the more urban areas of the country. At this level, private schools enroll a much higher percentage of students than at the elementary level. According to statistics from the Department of Education, roughly 45% of the country's high schools are private, enrolling about 21% of all secondary school students. There are two main types of secondary schools. The first type is general secondary schools. Students in the general secondary schools must take and pass a wide variety of courses. Here the curriculum consists of language or communicative arts, English and Filipino, mathematics, science, technology, and social sciences, including anthropology, Philippine history and government, economics, geography, and sociology. The second types of secondary schools is vocational secondary schools. These secondary schools tend to offer technical and vocational instruction in one of five major fields, such as agriculture, fishery, trade, or technical home industry, and non-traditional courses with a house of specialization. The types of vocational fields offered by these vocational schools usually depend on the specific region in which the school is located. After taking exams in secondary education and graduating, the student can continue their study in higher education. In higher education, there are university education, bachelor degrees, master degrees, PhD degrees, and non-university higher education or vocational and technical. This is the picture of Uniform School of Philippines. In the Philippines requires the student to wear uniform schools, as well as the Indonesian state requires it like that. In next slide, in Philippines, school hours are usually a full day, starting at 7 a.m. and ending 5 p.m. And there's still homework. On weekends, military training can be carried out. For secondary schools, various institutions offer evening classes from 5:30 p.m. to about 9:30 p.m., but usually only in Manila or other major provincial cities. In evening classes, high school and university courses can be completed by extending the school year. Summer school sessions are available for remediation for high school students and special courses, for example, computer science lessons. The education system of Philippines and Indonesian are different. In Indonesian, English is foreign language, but in the Philippines, English as their second language, so they are more fluently in speak English. And their private schools are more desired by students than their public schools, because they are much better than their public schools, but also much more expensive as the case in the other countries. Okay, it was my explanation about education system in Philippines. I hope this video can be help you to know the education system in Philippines. I think this enough for this video. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.